I want you to appreciate what you do have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Stay in your own lane. Don't worry about what other people are saying or doing. They've got their own things going on. If somebody acts rude to you, that's them. Like we said earlier, that's their own filter and maybe their own scarcity or their own fears. And people might not want to always help you grow. And if you get around people who don't want to help see you grow, get new friends. You don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. Always try to help others and just go to other people with the helping hand, with a hand out. What can I do to help you today? What can I do to make you more positive today?
There are times when life just brings you down, 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 down to the ground. And it's hard when you can't see the light, 'cause things don't look so bright. So now it's time to reframe and retrain your brain. It's time to look for the good. You know that you should. Why don't you join me? 'Cause I'm seeking sunshine. I'm seeking sunshine. I'm seeking sunshine. Oh, oh, oh. I'm seeking sunshine. I'm seeking sunshine. I'm seeking sunshine. I'm seeking sunshine.
I'm Karaleigh Garrison, a singer-songwriter, motivational speaker, and your host of the Seeking Sunshine podcast, where we find the positive in the trials of life. I created this podcast because I believe really deeply that we can learn from one another's stories and experiences. I'm willing to bet that just about all of us have been through some really, really tough things. And not only is it therapeutic for us to be able to talk about these darkest times in our lives, but the lessons that we've learned and the resilience we've shown can help everyone around us weather their own storms from higher ground. On the Seeking Sunshine podcast, we don't shy away from difficulty and trauma, but we always look for the sunshine in it. It's my personal belief that there are blessings in every trial and trials in every blessing. I use this Seeking Sunshine mantra every single day to change my perspective when things start going wrong and getting frustrating, which they often do because I have 3 kids with special needs. And I can tell you that it has transformed my life. And I hope, and that's the whole point of this podcast, that it can transform your life too. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Seeking Sunshine podcast. I hope that you're having an amazing day so far, even if it's first thing in the morning. I hope that it is a beautiful day and that you're making the best of it and that you're finding something to be so grateful for. I'm so excited for our guest today. She is going to just blow your mind with her amazing attitude on life. She is such an inspiration to me, and I'm so excited to share this interview with you. Her name is Bonnie Hardie. She's a mindset, life, and gratitude coach. She's based in Central Florida, and she loves to empower midlife women to say bon voyage to the shackles in their mind so that they can live their best life. And oh my goodness, she does such a great job of that. She's going to blow your mind with how she just takes everything, every challenge that she's been handed, and she flips it around and finds the most positive way to view it and the most incredible way to just change what you would just assume is just like the most awful situation and find a way to put a grateful spin on it. It's amazing. So she has this unique program called Vision for Your Life, where she combines the Wheel of Life and a vision board, where she color codes the Wheel of Life. But I'm going to let her actually tell you all about it without kind of giving it away, because she has a really cool perspective on it. It's so much fun. So before I launch into that, I want to remind you that you can go check out my website. I've got some awesome stuff on there. What else? Oh, make sure you check out my album that just came out not too long ago. It's amazing. You can find it on just about every platform except for Apple and iTunes. There's still a little glitch going on there. But yeah, you can go find the Seeking Sunshine album on almost every streaming platform. But so let's dive in to Bonnie's episode. She's so amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Bonnie. Let's jump in.
There we go.
Hi, Bonnie. I'm so happy to have you here today on the Seeking Sunshine podcast.
Hey, Karaleigh. Happy Monday. Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and I'm looking to help it show everybody how to spread sunshine in their life and in their business and all that sorts of neat stuff.
Ooh, I'm so excited. So let's dive in. I want to hear all about you and what you do because it's so closely related to what I do with Seeking Sunshine and helping people find gratitude and joy in their lives. So I want to hear from you. Let's hear your story.
All right. Well, first of all, I am a mindset life and gratitude coach. I'm based in Central Florida, the Sunshine State, so that works out really well for your
Yeah,
pod.
it does.
What I do is I empower midlife women to say bon voyage to shackles in their mind so that they can live their best life. Because I myself am midlife. I'm 58 years old, and a lot of people my age, they could be widows, they could be divorcees, their children have grown up and moved on out, and they're like, "Well, is there all left to life? What else is left to do?" It's like, no, there's a big, beautiful world out there. And my mom, who is retired, she's a great grandmother now, and she and her boyfriend are traveling around in an RV. They are living their best life, and they've gone gone to all the presidential museums and go to the national parks. And I joke around with her and my brother and sister. It's like, well, where's Mom and Walter right now? Because we have to see on his Facebook where they're at, and sometimes we don't even know. And she's actually traveling right now, and I think she's going to be in Georgia or South Carolina sometime this week. I'm not even sure. So it's
That's
like, my mom is
amazing.
living her best life doing that, and it's like that's what I want for myself and for everybody. And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how old you are, your circumstances, what's going on in your background, because I've noticed that a lot of people, what's going on in a childhood, maybe somebody said you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that. So now when they're older, they're like, well, I don't want to do anything because people might judge me, or if I speak my mind, people say, oh, you're too loud and I don't want to hear your opinion. It's like, you can only worry about other people's opinions so much. Are you putting money in my bank account? Are you putting food on my table? I appreciate your opinion. However, I'm going to live the life that I want to live and what I want to do. And it might not be your life, but my biggest goal this year is in the next couple months. What I want to do is I want to buy a van, fix it up on the inside so I can live in it, be a digital nomad, and travel around the United States and Canada, overseas eventually. I've visited England already before. And I want to be a motivational, inspirational speaker. I want to talk about my story. I want to inspire others. I want to help the homeless and disadvantaged in all the areas I go into. Talk to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Women's Club, the Men Club, the Rotary, the Toastmasters, whomever, and just say, hey, people like, I don't want to be the next Tony Robbins. I'm going to be the first Bonnie Hardie. That's, thank God there's only
Yes.
one anymore. Thank God I'm not a turner trip because we'd be in big trouble.
Absolutely. I love this so much. One of the things I talk about a lot is how, because I'm in that younger motherhood stage. I mean, my kids are 8, 10, 8, 12, and 11. So I can remember that. And I feel like so many of us go into motherhood in this 30s-ish age stage, and we get lost into motherhood, and we kind of claim that as our identity. And it's like, we have to remember that we were people before that.
Right.
And that at some point that stage is going to end, and that's where you come in. And it's like, guess what? You're still a human. You still have passions. You still have value. You can still learn and grow. And like, you having to relearn who you are is such a tough place to find yourself in. So I love
Right.
that you are helping guide people through that.
Yes, it's so cool to just let people know that, hey, life doesn't end when you're 70 or 80. As a matter of fact, my great grandmother and great aunt both lived to be over 100.
Wow.
They had like a hot toddy every afternoon, and they lived their life, and they went,
Woo.
had their hair done on a regular basis and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, that's the life I want to live. And I've seen people, younger guys mainly that are in 20s and 30s, and they want to sleep half the day, and then they want to get up and go watch TV the rest of the day, mainly sports. And they're like, oh, I'm bored. What is there to do? It's like, man, there's a big, vast, beautiful world out there. Don't be inside all the time. Go outside and do stuff. Be and they want other people to keep them occupied and give them activities to do. And they're like, oh, well, you should keep the people here with activities going on and stuff, and you should keep us occupied. It's like, no, that's up to you. Your life depends on you and your attitude. And if you go out there and you're smile at other people and give eye contact and compliment people, I love your earrings, or your nails are so cool, I love those boots. A lot of people they don't talk to anybody anymore. And I've seen actually people, they're walking around, they're always on their phone. And I've seen them actually run into doors because the door didn't open automatically and
Oh
they're
no.
on their phone. It's like, come on, put the phone down sometimes and go outside and sit outside, breathe in fresh air, get some sunshine. Look at the squirrels and the birds going around. Come on.
Oh yes, absolutely. So what brought you to this point? What made you want to create this business and start helping people to live their best life?
I get asked that question a lot. And sometimes I have a smart alecky answer. It's like, I just got tired of listening to people moan, cry, and complain all the time. Come on now. But
Smart aleck answers are fun.
yeah, yeah. In all seriousness, though, a lot of people, there's been a lot of things going on in the last several years in the world, in the United States. It's kind of crazy. And you can't let what's going on in the past define your future and you don't want to do anything. It's like, yeah, you don't know what's going on in the future, today, tomorrow, this time next year. However, I really want people to start being happier and to have some motivation for their life and have goals. What's your vision for 2023? Do you have a vision board? What's your vision for your life? So I wanted to have people turn over like a new leaf and say, hey, I want to get up in the morning. I want to go do stuff. I want to talk to people. I want to get out there. And it kind of just got me started into let me help you reframe your negatives into positives. Let me help you appreciate what you do have, not dwell on what you don't have. Don't be comparing yourself to other people. You might have a bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger this or that. That always comes with a lot more problems. So sometimes it's back to basics to just get, keep it simple, Simon.
Oh yeah, for sure. So tell us how your story began. What have you been doing for the last, 50 years of your life?
I have a crazy life story and stuff like that. I've been through, a lot of different things in my life. And, some stuff shaped me into the person I am now. And there's some stuff that's like, probably wouldn't want to go through it again, wouldn't want to wish it on somebody else. Several years ago at a job I had, I suffered injury to my knee and then I hurt my other knee. So a doctor said, it was osteoarthritis, bone spur, water on the knee, torn meniscus, this and that and the other. And I was actually told by two different orthopedic surgeons that I might have to have both knees replaced by the time I'm 60, 158. Yeah, so that's something. It's like I want to go when I die. I want to go with all my body parts. So I want to, try to preserve myself and stuff. So that makes having a regular job, so to speak, hard because it's hard to walk around and stand for long periods of time. And I also hate people say, "Why don't you get a job?" I have a job. I have a job that potentially has a capacity to help hundreds, even thousands of people in the world. Just because I don't go and punch in and out and have a time clock and stuff like that. You got to be here Monday through Friday, and that's when you take your vacations and days off. you know.
Yeah,
So
it's not a great, way to live. And there's actually a lot of people that doesn't work for, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, definitely. You got to find what works for you. What lights you up, what makes you happy, and how can you spread. How can you help others and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with having a job at different places and stuff. And you're helping other people no matter what, whether you work in fast food or retail or whatever. There's no shame in anything. And I don't like people who try to shame others for, oh, you're just a this, you're just a that. Well, without that person, you wouldn't be getting what you want. So be respectful of people and don't be trying to tell other people how to run their life because they're doing the best they can under their circumstances and you don't know their whole story. So I just want people to be respectful of others too. And don't be getting all personal and stuff and asking a lot of questions. You should do this, you need to do that. Why aren't you doing this?
It's
No.
it's stay in your own lane.
Yeah, that's right.
Worry
Stay in your
about
own lane,
what you
that's
have
for
going
sure.
on. And it's so important because we also want other people to respect our decisions too.
Right.
So we should be respecting theirs. So tell
Right.
us about a time in your life when something was really, really difficult and how you were able to get through that and seek sunshine.
Okay. Well, I've been homeless before. more than one occasion. Currently, I'm okay right now. I'm staying in a hotel. I got 2 more weeks at this hotel. Hopefully, I can stay even longer. And actually, New Year's, I slept New Year's Eve on the ground right in front of a phone store that was closed because I didn't want to sleep on the bench that I normally sleep on because it's at a busy intersection. I was afraid I was going to get hit by a car, or getting drunk, or somebody would yell stuff outside of their car at me, which happens quite often anyway. I
Well, and
actually spent
New
most
Year's
of
Eve.
last year homeless, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to not be homeless anymore. We'll have to see what happens. However, when you're at rock bottom, you can only go up from there. And for me to be able to sleep on a concrete bench at night, sometimes actually on the ground, and not getting a lot of sleep, not being able to eat properly because I have no way to cook anything. Let's not discuss the bathroom situation overnight because that's not a pleasant experience. But if I can do that and still come out every day being happy, being on podcasts, talking to people, um, building people up, and trying hard not to complain about stuff, not go over the bad things, or how much I cry myself to sleep every night, the nosebleeds from stress, the high blood pressure, the getting the cramps in my calf, so to the point that I can't even move for a few minutes and stuff. But if I can go through all that and still come out smiling every day and try to, pump people up, I can get through anything, and anybody else can get through anything. So it's like, let's just be appreciative of what you do have, and we're reframing negatives into positives. Granted, it was horrible that I was sleeping outside every night. That was really bad. However, I got to be in fresh air every night, and I got to learn about the moon and the stars and see the astronomy and stuff, and hearing all the different types of cars and motorcycles that going by every night. Now I can identify them. Kind of, I know if type of motorcycles coming through, or if it's a convertible or something, and not that convertible, like a Mustang or something. For the most part, not always, but it's not something I ever want to do again. However, you got to make the best of the bad situation. And if every single day I was up moaning, crying, and complaining, people wouldn't want to talk to me or do anything. So it's like it's not who I am. It's my current situation. But not invisible. I'm invincible. Homeless, not hopeless. My name is Bonnie, not Bum. You're gonna respect me. You're not gonna ask me why, what happened, all this kind of stuff. Stuff happened, and it was a bad situation. I had to get out of it, so I had to make the best of my situation. Don't ask me what I'm doing to get myself out of it. I am working on a lot of things. Some stuff just takes a while, and don't be like, oh, because you're homeless, you can't tell anybody how to live their life. It's like, you want to come up, be with me for 2 weeks? I guarantee you'll be whining and crying after 3 days. you know,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's like, let me just try to help others and stuff, and use my experiences to pump other people up, you know?
Guys, I just wanted to pause here for 1 second to let you know about the awesome thing that I'm doing right now. I'm so excited to announce that I'm offering a custom song experience for a small number of people. This is your chance to take your story, your podcast, or your business even, and turn it into a incredible, timeless work that will bring back beautiful, loving emotions for decades to come. This is such a perfect gift for your spouse, for a newborn baby, or for a parent, and it's a really great way to embody your business or your podcast's mission. We're going to meet together several times and deep dive into the message and emotion you want to convey to make sure that you're getting something that you absolutely adore. A custom song is an incredible asset for advertising, for lifting team spirit, and for encapsulating family memories. If you want a custom song, please email customsongsbykaraleigh@gmail.com. So just, oh my gosh, you're incredible. You're so amazing to take, what has to be hands down one of the most difficult experiences that a person can live through, and
Right.
to, in the middle of it, it's always easier to look back in hindsight, right? And to be like, oh, I can now see how that was a gift. I can now see how that was something great. That's incredible that that you can have this kind of attitude while you're in the middle of it. Because for so many of us, while we're in it, our attitude sucks.
Yeah.
And it's not until we look back on with hindsight and we go, oh, now I could see how that was a blessing. Now I could see how that led my life. Now I could see that there
Right.
were some beautiful, lessons I learned. But to have the capacity to be in the middle
Right.
of that hardest thing and still be able to look at the stars and see how beautiful they are.
Right.
It's incredibly inspiring
Thank you.
to look at you with that attitude towards life and to look at you going, maybe I'm at rock bottom, but there's still something I have to give. I still have something that I can do and say to help other people improve their lives and improve their mindset so that they can be happier. And to have that kind of perspective while you're still in the middle of it is incredible. Like, it's so amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome, and no worries. And sometimes I kind of liken it to treading to like swimming, where you're going to you see there's an island there, and you're swimming, and it's like you're never getting there. But after a little bit, you go to stand up, and really the water at that point is only like knee deep, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost there, and and it's like, and you look back and say, oh my gosh, look how far I came, and look how much tiny bit farther I still need to go. And I just want to, inspire people and prove that you can be resilient. And then in my business is rock solid mindset, life, and gratitude coaching. And one of my mantras is rock bottom to rock solid. I've been at rock bottom, but they say there's it's always darkest after the dawn, and after the thunderstorm there's a rainbow, and you appreciate the good times once you've gone through the hard times. It's when you have to, you can't afford to go out to eat at a regular restaurant, or when you do, you have to look at the cheapest thing on the menu, or if you go stay at a hotel, you have to look at the cheapest hotel and just get what you can get just to get it. And it's like, you're going to appreciate being able to go to Red Lobster and order anything you want to eat. That's for sure. So just appreciate what you do have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. And eventually things are going to get much better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting. My husband and I were talking about this last night of like how much home cooked meals have become kind of unappreciated in,
Right.
well, our house, but in society in general, because kids come to expect that same. And so specifically my husband was talking about like ketchup, and like if we've come to expect ketchup to always taste exactly the same.
Right.
Right. And if you have ketchup that tastes a little different, then you think it's bad. And it's not necessarily that it's bad. It's just that it's a little different. And so how are we as a society like so used to things being the same, and we aren't able to appreciate things when they're different but not bad? We just automatically assign
Right.
that label as bad, and it's a tough one. Like, that's a tough one to navigate in the world. And that's why like gratitude,
Oh yeah.
like all of the stuff that you're teaching is so essential. And when you're at rock bottom, it gives you that opportunity to appreciate everything else.
Right.
That when you're not at rock bottom, you're going, you just sort of dismiss it, right? And we tend to do that in our minds, like, well, where I'm at, I only want what's up from here, and I don't have any appreciation for where I'm at or what is lower. But when you're there, it's, you see the
Right.
beauty in everything.
Right. And it's just a little simple thing about even having, a nice bed to sleep on, something to cover you with, to be able to eat something that, you cooked yourself. Little things like that people don't realize. Being able to drink something that's been in and sit in the refrigerator so it's ice cold and not room temperature, and people just, they're always like in the moment. And I understand to the point being me, because you have to worry about yourself before you can worry about anybody else. However, kind of reach out and think about stuff. I mean, we just got over through all the holidays and stuff like that. And it's like, what did you do for Christmas? Did you have a Christmas tree? Did you open any presents? I didn't have a Christmas tree. I didn't have any presents. I had two cards that I opened, but I still had a nice Christmas. And it's not always about stuff, because you get more stuff, then you got to get rid of stuff, and you have stuff and stuff and stuff. And I
Yep.
can pack
Stuff
my
doesn't
stuff
make you
up here
happy.
and move in like 20 minutes if I needed to. I carry like 40 pounds of bags with me everywhere I go. And it's like, hey, and I don't have a whole lot of stuff, but I'm happy with what I have, and I'm grateful for what I have. And just, be grateful for what you do have and what you don't have. And don't worry about the Joneses or somebody else having more stuff, because they got more stuff, they got more problems. I want to have less stuff and less problems, that's for sure.
Right. It's really interesting. You were saying, you understand how people are going, oh, me, because you have to take care of yourself first. And as I was thinking about that topic earlier today, I realized that selfishness is not based in having high self-worth.
Right.
Selfishness and that that entire thing, which is what we worry about when we try to do like self-care and stuff like that. Because I'm a self-care coach, and so that's one of the topics I focus on. But when you are in that selfish me mindset, it's not because you have high self-worth.
Right.
It's actually because you have low self-worth.
Right.
It's actually because you don't think that you're enough. And so what you're showing us is that when you have the self-worth, everything else will work its way out. When you have that inner wholeness that we can clearly see that you have, that confidence in, I know who I am. I know that I have value. I'm not going to let anyone else tell me or convince me that I do not.
Right.
When you have that solid foundation, that rock solid foundation that you're talking about. Yeah. When you have that rock solid foundation, it sets your entire life up.
Right.
And without it, you stumble and fall and crumble and you don't know what to do. So talk to us about how you came up with this rock solid concept for your coaching business.
I just kind of came up because actually I had a few people say, you're pretty rock solid, or you're pretty solid and stuff. And I got a lot of people in England. So they say, hey, you're pretty solid, mate. I always call you mate, and that's how you go. That's what a friend does, mate. So you're pretty solid, mate. So I kind of came up with the rock solid, and it's like, to a point, you're not gonna ever be totally rock solid. It's always gonna be stuff going on. However, you know what you need to do to get to that point, and you want to keep striving to stay good. And I've had like a whole lot of change in my mindset recently, because I've had like low self-esteem and anxiety and stuff like that, and too much people pleasing. But I decided to change everything for 2023, and I'm not going to go chasing after anybody anymore. If you want to be my friend, if you want to include me in stuff, that's fine. If you want to have a call with me, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's also fine. And it's like, look, I have a very small circle of people because I'm very much an introvert. And it's an honor for you to be in my circle. That's the change that I've had to have. It's an honor for me to go to you and ask you for advice, or for me to give you advice on stuff. So I've had to change stuff around, and people who are, just asking too many questions. I understand people are curious about things, and that's fine. However, if I tell you I don't want to answer your question and you keep going on, that's going to be a problem, and you're going to get unfriended. Or if we have calls set up and you're constantly late and you're constantly doing other things while we're on the call, that's a problem. We're going to stop having calls.
That's
you're going
not
to
respect.
Me and my time, and this is how it's going to be. And there's boundaries, and and I'm going to support you as much as I can, but on the same token, you're going to turn around and support me. And I have to understand that I don't have a significant other. I don't have kids. I'm by myself. I don't have any other thing keeping me. My time is my own, and people, have kids, have exes, have spouses, whatever. They only have so much time. I try really hard to respect that. However, you're also going to respect me, And if you say, hey, you should join this group, this thing, and I say no, well, why not? Why is it not good for you? You're in my inbox asking me to join your stuff. You don't need to be asking me what my business is doing, how much income I'm making, how many clients I have, how much people are paying me, all that kind of stuff. That's only a few people need to know that. So you just need to be respectful. And if I say thank you, it's not for me. Okay, great. Have a great day. Talk to you later. That's all I'm asking for is respect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's important. And I've had a lot of times where I didn't have a self-respect for myself, and I just said, oh, I'm sorry, we're late for the call. It's an hour and a half later. You want to talk now? Yeah, okay, it's fine. No, it's not fine anymore. It's not fine anymore. You're going to respect me and my time. You're saying one thing, but you're doing something else. So I've had to have talks with people and say, hey, look, this is not going to happen anymore. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. However, I have to do what I have to do for myself. So, like, oh, well, Bonnie's standing up for herself now. Okay. Well, that's a change that I'm making. It's taken me 58 years to make that change, but now it's a change I'm making, and you're going to respect me and my wishes. And I want you to be able to look at things in a nice way. And I want to help people. All I want to do is help people, make them smile. That's all I want in my life, is help people make them smile. And if you're going to be with there on that journey to help me do that, that's fine. And if not, that's okay. No problem.
I gotta tell you, my I mean, this is just my favorite, so I say it all the time, but my favorite quote comes from Frozen, like the kids
Okay.
movie. And they say, people make bad choices when they're mad or scared or stressed. And
Hmm.
what that means to me is like that we need to stop taking responsibility for other people's behavior. So when
Right.
people come up to you and they have all these invasive questions, it's probably stemming from their own lack of self-worth, from their
Right.
own self-doubt, and they're eager to compare to see if they will come out on top because they don't feel good enough where they're at. It
Right.
actually has nothing to do with you. It has no reflection or bearing on you
Right.
and your value. It really just stems from their insecurities. And so I
Right.
love looking at the world through that lens because it helps me to have compassion for people when they say stupid things, but it also helps me to look at my own self and go, oh, when I was talking to that person, was I hungry? Was I
Yeah.
talking out of hunger? Was
Right.
I had I not peed for 3 hours and I really had to pee and so I wasn't really fully present? What was going on with me that was making it so that I was mad or scared or stressed and not acting as my best self? Um, so that's what that made me think of when you were talking about people asking invasive questions. It's so easy for us to take those things personally
Right.
and for us to take offense and to let those things damage our own self-esteem. But the truth is, it doesn't need to, because what other people are thinking and doing and saying, like, only reflects their
Right.
own mindset and what's going on with them. It doesn't really have anything to do with us.
Right. And it's just going with what's going on with them at that time. You could say something to them 20 minutes later and the situation be totally different. So it's like, hey, maybe people aren't really mean in certain things when they ask certain things. More people know about my situation than others, depending on how long you've known me. However, if I say I don't want to discuss it, don't be coming back. Well, why don't you want to discuss it? It's like because I said I don't want to. And the unfriend and the block buttons again really a lot of work for me lately, and that's for sure. It's time. It's like look, it's time to burn it all down, build it back up again, start over. What makes me happy? What do I want to do? And if you're like, well, I would never be on podcast. I don't ever want to do that. I think that's a waste. So that's fine. That's for you. That's what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. Well, are you making money doing it? We gotta get you money. We gotta get this. Don't worry about if I'm making money or not. This is what I want to do, and it's not your life to live. So just back off, Bucko, and let me live the life that I want to live. And if it doesn't work out, that's on me. That's not on you. I think that some people, when they see somebody that's not in as good a place as them, they kind of like lord it over them and they go, oh, I'm much better than you. You're homeless. You're this and that. You don't have any money. Like I got to go to, such and such a country for Christmas and you were just, doing this. It's like, well, that's fine. That's on you. If you want to act like that, that's fine. However, if you weren't there when I was in my bad time, you don't deserve to be there when I'm in my good time. It's like, I'm not asking for a hand out. I'm asking for a hand up. I'm just asking for a little bit of help here and there. It's like all the stuff that I've done during my circumstances, pretty much by myself, is great. I just need to get a little bit better situated with certain things. I can do so much more. And if you're not going to be there to help me out, then the heck with you and go away. I'll do it without you. I don't need your aggravation. I want you to be living your best life and doing what you want to do. And that's what I want to help other people do. So I need people around me that are going to help me do that with my life. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to choose who we surround ourselves with. And when we surround ourselves with people who have a positive influence, that
Right.
helps us to rise, and when we surround ourselves with people who have a negative influence, the opposite is true.
Right.
And I feel like we're broaching on a topic that is so taboo that it's never talked about. So let's bring it up, right? And that is poverty.
Oh,
And
yes.
goodness, what a topic.
Mhm.
So like I had told you before, I have 3 kids on the autism spectrum. And my husband's actually been disabled for the last decade. Thankfully, he's kind of had this miraculous kind of recovery and he was able to get a job about 6 months ago. But the honest truth is we still live on welfare. We've been living on welfare for over a decade. And oh my goodness, what a difficult thing to live through, that a lot of people have absolutely no idea what that is like. And there's just a lot of, it's a very like shame-filled place to come from, where it doesn't matter how hard you work, nothing is quite good enough because you're not yet self-sufficient. It doesn't matter what circumstances happen to you. That's the thing that's kind of, it just feels like this never-ending thing hanging over your head all the time. And so it's like we have to come to this understanding for ourselves that our value does not lie in how much money we make. And that's, what's funny is it's actually like equally a problem for people who have a lot of money, is that they get their sense of self-worth from what they have and what they've been able to produce. And then they are unhappy. And then they become workaholics. And then it doesn't matter how much money they make, it's never enough. They never feel happy with themselves. They never develop that sense of self-worth. Because the truth is, your sense of self-worth has nothing to do with how much money you make or how self-sufficient you are or how productive of a member of society you are. You just have innate worth.
Right.
Like you just are
Right.
an incredible human being. One interesting way to look at it is like we look at newborn babies
Mm-hmm.
and we don't go, oh, they haven't made any money yet. They haven't made a contribution to the world yet.
Right.
Like, why would we care about them? Why would we fill all their needs? What have they done? They're not doing anything to help me. No, we don't look at babies like that. We flock to babies because we can see their worth.
Right.
They've done nothing. Not only have they done nothing, but they are constantly in need of care.
Right.
They constantly need something from somebody else. Like minute by minute of every day, they are sucking energy from the people around them. And yet we are able to see them as the incredible, valuable people they are.
Right.
Yet we struggle to see ourselves in that same light.
Right. It's in this incredible, and it's like you have to look at yourself as no matter, you're not your situation. You're in a situation. It doesn't make you a better person, a worse person, or somebody else better than you or worse than you. And people sometimes look down on people who get food stamps or they're living in subsidized housing. I'm still a person, whether I'm homeless, whether I'm not. I am still somebody's daughter, somebody's aunt, somebody's sister, somebody's grandaunt. And if you knew somebody related to you or even a friend that was homeless or in a bad situation, how would you want them to be treated? Would you, God forbid, if a relative of yours is in this position and you talk to them like the way some people talk to other homeless people? Like, you're a bum, you're this, you're that, get a job, do this. Like, you don't know the story, and don't judge me. All I want is for people to sit down and say, hey, what's your story? What's going on? Come up to me and say, hey, do you need something? You need a couple dollars, you need a bottle of water. I appreciate that. But don't come at me guns blazing, because I'm gonna come right back at you with guns blazing. It's like, don't be because I've had people, because I can kind of tell when people are being judgmental and saying, well, you shouldn't have done this, or you're in this position, you did that, why are you homeless? It doesn't matter. And I did the best thing I could do under that circumstance, and I made the best decisions for myself. You were not there, and even if you were there, you don't know my whole position about what I was going through. So don't be coming at me. And I've had people say, oh, well, you were over in this position and you blew it over here and you should have been doing this and stuff. So you really want me to be nice to you when you're coming at me like that? you know it's like, no. And some people are like, because I can show you the bad stuff about being homeless, but I can also show you that I'm trying to help people. And luckily I live close to Disney World, so I can go visit Disney whenever I want. I can't go into the park, I don't have the ticket for that, but I can ride the monorail and I can ride the boats and buses around different hotels. And people are like, oh, you make it seem like it's fun being homeless, you're going over to Disney and stuff. It's like, do you want me to show you where I slept last night on the ground? Do you want me to show you how cold it is this morning? Do you want me to show you, the tears streaming down my face and I cry myself to sleep every night? If that's what you want, that's what I'll show. But I choose to try to as much as possible to show that even though I'm in this predicament, I'm still trying to be as positive as possible. And people are like, well, you shouldn't show you're homeless on Facebook because you're not going to get any clients. I can switch that back around and say, well, maybe the reason that I am homeless is because I don't have any paying clients. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't post, or should or shouldn't post on my own Facebook stuff. you know. So don't be coming at me and saying, you should do this, you should do that, you need to do that, I'm worried about you, let's do this, let's do
Stop
that.
shitting all over people.
I know. Don't tell me what I should do. I don't tell you what you should do. You don't know my story, and I don't need to. Well, can you explain that to me? No. Why should I explain stuff to you? Life's about a bunch of ups and downs. What does that mean? What do you think it means? Am I speaking in another language you don't understand? What do you think life is ups and downs means to you?
Well, I just want to point out like how beautiful it is that you spend time doing things that light you up, like riding the monorail and riding around and appreciating the like beauty and wonder, of what did you say? Sorry, did you say SeaWorld or Disney World?
Disney World, yeah.
Disney World. Like, I can only imagine how incredibly stunning it is just to be in the presence of that like magical place,
Right.
and to do what you can to give yourself a piece of that magic every day. Like, how much is that helping raise your spirits? How much is that helping you to be energized and here and present and excited and hopeful for the future?
Right.
And that's something that, I think a lot of us, we forget that like you deserve to have joy in your life, and you have to decide to give it to yourself.
Right.
It's no one else's responsibility to make you happy and to give you joy in your day. It's a choice. Right. It's a choice to change that mindset. It's a choice to choose to do something that is going to bring you energy and joy. And what's incredible is that you are showing us all that no matter what your circumstances are, there is always something you can do to, do self-care and to show yourself that you're important, and to show yourself that you matter, and that you also deserve these things just like everybody else does. And it's inspiring, because so many of us who are sitting here in our own houses I mean, to be fair, mine is rented and subsidized, but that's a different story. I'm still grateful for it. How many of us are sitting here in our own houses, or at our jobs or whatever, saying, I can't give myself joy because I don't have this, or I'm not enough, or I'm not whatever. And yet here we are looking at you, and you have enough self-worth to give yourself joy every day. What an incredible example to people. Like, of course you're going to be an amazing coach because you already know your value. And to me, that's like the most important foundation that you can have in your life, is to know your own worth.
Definitely. And people say, well, how can you be a life coach if your life sucks? And I'm like, well, that's kind of a rude thing to say. Thank you very much. But I can tell you how to appreciate what you have, and how to, people complain about, oh, I have this car, but I can't drive it because the gas prices are so high. Like I ride around on the bus, but I reframe that to positive because I know a lot of local bus drivers, and B, it's like, look, I've got somebody taking me where I want to go. I can just sit there and I can look outside the doors and the windows, and I can kind of sightsee and see stuff, because I don't have to pay attention to all these crazy drivers out there, and I don't have to keep stopping for the light and stopping for people getting on and off and stuff.
You get to appreciate the journey.
Yeah, I'm appreciating
what a great way to find sunshine in, oh, I'm riding the bus and it's not ideal and it's not what I would wish, but yet you're taking the opportunity to be like, hello, I don't have to deal with traffic. I get to look at this scenery and enjoy the journey. Like, what? That's amazing.
Definitely. So what's any other questions you have about my journey to sunshine?
Well, I just have a couple final questions as we're wrapping up.
Okay.
My first one is, how can we find you and your coaching business? And how do we get in touch with you, anybody who wants to?
Okay, I don't have a website yet. I'm working on that. My Facebook is just Facebook at Bonnie S. Hardie. And my Yahoo email is just bonniehardie@yahoo.com. BonnieHardie@yahoo.com. And keep it simple. Keep it simple, Simon, because otherwise I can't figure a lot of stuff out on my own. Some people have all sorts of crazy emails. BonnieHardie@yahoo.com, or Facebook at Bonnie S. Hardie. And people can ask me any questions about whatever they want to ask about. I have a program called Vision for Your Life. I combine a vision board and the wheel of life. And what I do is I color code the wheel of life. And you rank it on a scale of 20% and below, 80% and above, and 20% to 80%. If it's ranked 20% below, you color code it red. If it's ranked 80% and above, you color code it green. And in between, it's yellow. So when you actually pull that out and you look at it, and you're like, oh, okay, I got a lot of reds here. We got to work on this. I got a lot of greens. That's great. We got a lot of yellows, a little bit of work here and there.
So tell us real quick what the Wheel of Life is, for anybody who's not familiar with that.
Okay, the Wheel of Life, it has 8 different segments, and it asks you, everybody kind of does different ones in there, but the one I use has, personal development, your job, your career. Are you happy with that? Are your family, you get along with your family? Do you have like a lot of fun in your life and stuff like that? So usually you put kind of dots on it, and then you connect the dots, and it's never a circle. It's always this, that, and the other. But the way I do it is we color code it. So you look at it, and I just did a vision board workshop this weekend. So when you look at it and it's like, okay, we got a couple reds here, we need to work on that. We got some greens here, let's work on that. And then the next session is we go do a vision board. So the vision board is, everybody does vision boards differently, but if you've done stuff in the red or the yellow, that's what we work on the most. The one I did this weekend, they're like, oh, I need to work on having more fun. So it's like, okay, what kind of things do you want to do for fun? So they picked out pictures of them going on a cruise ship and just going out and being out in the world and stuff like that, just being out in nature. So when you look at that every day, you're going to be like, let me concentrate on what I want to do. And you can even put stuff that's green on there because it's something that it's ranked good now, and you want to keep it good. So let's just keep it good. And my fitness, my exercise level is great. My personal development is great. Let's keep it good. Let's put stuff on there, working out with kettlebells, eating healthy, things like that.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So my last question is, do you have any final words of wisdom for my audience?
I want you to appreciate what you do have. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Stay in your own lane. Don't worry about what other people are saying or doing. They've got their own things going on. If somebody acts rude to you, that's them. Like we said earlier, that's their own filter, and then maybe their own scarcity or their own fears. And people might not want to always help you grow. And if you get around people who don't want to help see you grow, get new friends. You don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. Always try to help others, and just go to other people with a helping hand, with a hand out. What can I do to help you today? What can I do to make you more positive today? And how can I help you get to your goals? What are your goals? How can I help you have a rock solid 2023? Basically, that's my thing this year. And I also, really quick, have a little meme for the word mindset using the first letters of the word, MINDSET. And it is: mindset is knowledge during setbacks. Everything is terrific. Again, mindset is knowledge during setbacks. Everything is terrific. So that's how you have to look at your life.
Oh, I love it. That's an amazing acronym. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
This has been such an inspirational conversation. I have loved hearing your story and how just your outlook on life is incredible. And
Thank
it's
you.
something that all of us, can gain inspiration from, and could use, we could all look at you and change our lives to match yours a little bit more, because you have such a beautiful energy and mindset. So thank you so much for coming on the Seeking Sunshine podcast today, Bonnie.
Thank you so much for having me, Kaylee. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody was like 3 weeks into 2023. So let's have a rock solid 2023. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Look to the future. Look out your windshield, and not your back windshield, not your rear view mirror. Look out the windshield, the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much. It was great being here with you today. I appreciate it.
You too. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful that I got to talk to Bonnie and get to know her. She is such an incredible human being, and I learned so much from her, and I hope that you did too. I felt like everything that she's been through taught me so much about how I should be changing my perspective about my trials. So if you found something just like mind-blowingly inspirational about Bonnie and everything that she taught us in this episode, I hope that you'll share this. I hope that there's somebody you can text it to, or maybe you can share it on your social platforms, because I know that this is something that we all need to hear. We all need to learn how to change our perspectives and our mindsets so that we can have more gratitude in our lives, because gratitude is just the most important thing that we can have. It is so life-alteringly important. It is like the foundation of all good things is gratitude. And that's just, I feel like that's the most important thing that I can impress upon you guys, and that's what Seeking Sunshine's all about, isn't it? It's about finding the sunshine in every situation. And Bonnie is just such a perfect, a specimen of that. No matter what she went through, she found sunshine in it in every step of the way. Even the most devastating things. She's just such a ray of sunshine herself, and I adored this conversation so much. So here are my very favorite takeaways. Number 1, your life depends on you and your attitude. And I just want to add, an attitude of gratitude will change everything. Number 2, you've got to find what works for you, what lights you up, what makes you happy. Number 3, be appreciative of what you do have and reframe negatives into positives. Number 4, to have the capacity to be in the middle of that hardest thing and still be able to look at the stars and see how beautiful they are, it's incredibly inspiring. Maybe I'm at rock bottom, but there's still something I have to give. Number 5, we need to stop taking responsibility for other people's behavior. Number 6, we get to choose who we surround ourselves with. And when we surround ourselves with people who have a positive influence, that helps us to rise. Number 7, you deserve to have joy in your life, and you have to decide to give it to yourself. It's no one else's responsibility to make you happy. Oh my goodness. So much joy, so much positivity. I just adored talking to Bonnie. I love this episode, and I hope that you did too. So make sure that you go find Bonnie on Facebook at Bonnie S. Hardie. Go follow her. She posts so much beautiful stuff. And you can also email her at bonniehardie@yahoo.com. Reach out to her. She's an amazing coach. I've had coaching sessions from her. She's so great. Definitely reach out to her. Also, go check out my website, which I mentioned at the beginning, but failed to mention what my website actually is. So I will tell you now. And if I ever do that again, it's also in the show notes, by the way. My website is KaraleighGarrison.com, which my name's kind of hard to spell. So if you need help with that, again, it's in the show notes, but it's KaraleighGarrison.com. And if you want to reach out about a custom song, which is an amazing thing to do. I've got a bunch of testimonials on my website. It's like one of my very favorite things to do is to write custom songs for people. It's so much fun. I'm just starting a new project, and I adore it. It is so much fun to do. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to me. You can reach out at customsongsbykaraleigh@gmail.com. And all of that information, including songs I've done in the past, as well as testimonials, and that email again it's all on my website. So you can just go check all that out. So I hope that this episode helps you, retrain your mind towards a more gratitude-filled mindset. That's the whole premise of Seeking Sunshine, is to find more gratitude, more sunshine in our lives, because the more that you look for it, the more that you're going to find it. That's like a law of the universe. What you look for, you'll see more of. And if we look for more beauty and more sunshine and more happiness, that's what we're going to see more of in our lives. So I hope that this episode helps you see more of that beauty and more of that sunshine. So I hope you have an absolutely incredible day, and I'm going to leave you with a song.
I heard it would be worth it, but still I hesitate. So many just enjoy the ride, but that's not how